कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen, yaar, don't be so conservative. Morning good, everyone. Just trying to be different. Can't bear the same thing. Imagine 40, 50 years of your life. Good morning, namaste, hello. Gotta change it up. It's so irritating to hear the same thing all the time. Also the same people. That's why I was very pro-mask for a little while. But you can imagine who the person is then. You don't have to actually look at their face. But I've got some great news. We have finally got an adult producer. We got rid of Sparsh. Finally, that kid driving us nuts. We sent him back to Delhi, where he's doing what all Delhiites do. Trying to tell you who his father is. Okay, unnecessary. Sparsh, I apologize because parents are big fans. Still, we have like 2 or 3 fans.
Uncle is watching right
Yeah,
now.
you should tell me. बहुत तमीज़ से बात करो. This is not that kind of show.
Watches every single morning.
We've got a new producer who's right there, but not. You can't see him. I don't know. Oh, you can see him now. There he is. Introduce yourself, sir. You're 20.
Look here.
You're 25. 26? 25. ठीक है. So that's the minimum, I think, for standing for elections.
Sparsh was too young for us.
So too young.
Yeah.
You have to be 25 to stand for elections,
exactly,
right?
yeah.
Amit, 25 minimum. Yeah. Just say yes, bro. Okay. Who cares? You think they get verification on this show? People will listen. Hey, let's Google. You want to know facts? Come to Brocha show. Are you nuts? Okay. Let's quickly introduce the main legend who's joined us. Karthik, who by the way says that we first met when I was wearing underwears and walking in his college. Which means that he firstly insults me by saying that he's younger than me. Which I think is a terrible thing to say. That's so mean. Just offline, before we started, what were you saying? I had come in an underwear. Just remind me. I'm sorry.
It was a big news in India today. Yeah, it was a big news in India today. They had done a profile of you and they had actually called it comic briefs. And you were supposed to be standing somewhere in Noida or Gurgaon in an underwear with something written on your chest.
Correct. Okay, now see, when you say Gurgaon or Noida, it makes sense to be in your chaddi. Okay, because it may happen against your wishes and often does, especially on weekends when you can't find girls. But in Bangalore, it didn't happen. Bangalore was a civilized part of the city, a country for me in the old days. Mount Carmel. It was one of the rare places we actually had more girls than guys sometimes at the events. We actually had that. And may I tell you, quite the opposite in Gurgaon. Okay, it was very scary, that experience. Dealer conferences, we had one woman who turned out to be a guy with long hair. You know, who was just one of those chikna guys. I don't remind me. Horrible experiences there. But we'll come to Bangalore bashing or not bashing later. We'll discuss the Twin Cities. But what we're really going to talk about here is the launch of your new show, which launches as we speak today, Aaj.
Yes, everybody, please go check it out. It's an amazing show.
The Advertiser's Guide to the Galaxy.
Can someone tell us what the show is about? I set it up and I thought the professionals were jumping like hawks.
Sure.
But Karthik is feeling bad to say anything because, I mean, unless you're American, you don't immediately start saying, oh, yeah, I actually made my show.
Okay, allow me. It's called The Advertiser's Guide to the Galaxy. It is hosted by Karthik Srinivasan, known as Beast of Trial on Twitter. And I think that's your blog as well. Oh, I don't remember. That's the blog as well. He's been, so Karthik is probably the premier voice in terms of analyzing marketing in this country.
Wow.
So he looks
anything that starts with the letters A-N-A-L, I'm interested. I mean, what a job. Yeah. So, if your parents don't speak good English and they say, kya karta wo? Anal. Struggling to the word together. Yaar.
Yes, of course.
But Karthik's been outspoken thinker on this stuff about the kind of messaging that is there in advertising, what kind of things.
They only get a social bone after they become successful. Have you noticed that? Okay. It's like Maslow's hierarchy in a sense. Yes. You suddenly get like, now I must worry about society. Yes. I wish that
which is Karthik again. He has the industry
Karthik, we're abusing you, by the way.
No, he has the industry experience as well. So now he's able to kind of give like.
So we are complimenting him because you reach a certain point in your life where you give back.
You led marketing for Flipkart, right? Is that right? Yeah. So he PR for Flipkart, and then after that he then started kind of doing the. So
is it safe to say when you're saying you headed PR? Safe to say some equity will be there as well.
That is a question for you.
That's a question I would love to know.
No, not anymore.
They didn't flip you on that one, did they? Those guys, Bansal and Bansal.
No.
Strange that everybody has the same name. There were 3 Bansals, only 2 are related. I found that very fascinating. Tell us about that, Mr. PR. How do you explain that? What's going on?
They were not related at all. It was actually quite amusing that every single news item which had a photo of Bansal and Bansal always added in bracket, they are not related.
Imagine Thompson and Thompson from the Tintin. You
Yes.
read the Tintin
Yeah, of
comics?
course. All of them.
What if they weren't related? It would be
Yeah,
so
correct.
stupid.
Just two random people who look like each other, dress like each other.
That's a great piece of comedy,
Yeah,
bro. I
correct.
love that. He got it wrong there.
Yeah.
What's it? Hergé, whatever his name is. Huh.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the. So what's
No,
it
no,
called
so,
again?
it's called The Advertiser's Guide to the Galaxy because, as you can
Tribute
tell
to
from
Douglas
Beast of
Adams.
Trial,
Yeah.
Karthik is a big
Clearly.
fan
He's a
of...
Bangalore boy, educated, reads books. Huh?
Yes.
What about our youngster? Tu kya karta beta?
I stay here till 9 o'clock.
He stays here till वो watchman का काम है भाई. Watchman का काम है. Staying here till 9 o'clock and clocking the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is also the first episode just came out
Hey,
today.
Hamisha Singh,
of the show.
Bangalore fellow. Ye Bangalore fellow on the panel. I think
I love
ye
his tweets.
she
Namaskar,
cheered there.
Karthik.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not Hindi ka ye Bangalore fellow.
Yeah.
It's ye Bangalore fellow on the panel. I love his tweets, vulgar. And Namaskara Karthik, Kannada. Okay, so we put it all together.
Nice.
And he has not replied. Typical Indian male. Yeah, forget, yeah, another woman likes me. Come on, da.
Karthik, do you want to talk a little bit about the show and how you're seeing it and what your plans are for it? Sorry, I need to get the plugs in and make sure that everybody understands that this is a show you should go and listen to
Don't
right
say
now.
plugs when both of you don't have hair. Again, you're throwing
We
us.
don't have plugs.
That's what I'm saying. You're throwing us again. Two of
we
you, the main guys, and
Don't
plugs.
have plugs.
I know that, but you're saying plugs. Now I'm confused.
Are you? Do you think we're referring
Stay-
to you?
No. Stay with the program.
all right.
Karthik's had enough ball jokes for the last
Okay, let
20
me plug.
years. Huh.
Yes, please.
Let me go ahead and plug. The first thing is we don't see advertising because it interrupts our attention because nobody sees terrestrial TV anymore. It's on OTT or YouTube. We see advertising because somebody has shared it with us saying, "Yeah, acha ad hai, dekh lo." But usually people stop right there. They have an opinion saying, "Yeah, acha hai, ye bura hai," like the Zomato ad recently, which went completely topsy-turvy. Nobody gets behind the ad to say, why is this good? Why is this not good? What can be done better? What is the message? That's the basic objective, not to just stop with quick opinions, but go deeper behind some of the ads.
You're breaking my heart, man, Karthik. When you say things that nobody watches, the ads growing up, ads and reciting the ads used to be so big, of course, 80s, 90s. And I'm just
Those were
thinking,
the days.
I mean, going back in memory, whether it's Liril or Surf or whether it's that Pug.
Hamara Bajaj.
Yeah.
Hamara Bajaj. I mean, there's so many of them.
Exactly.
My Robin Hood underwear banyan was my favorite. Because basically, when the voiceover is saying soft, they're cutting to the waist and a kamar band kind of moment, I mean, they're trying to marry the visual of soft with his waist and then durable with his waist. I think this is great, yeah.
If you watch the movie Lal Singh Chadda, they have given the origin story of Rupa Frontline underwear.
Yeah.
in the movie.
Yeah.
It's a
Don't knock
crazy
it.
thing.
Don't knock Rupa, bro. Continue
No,
building
great.
Rupa.
Rupa
Pretty
was a
big, yeah.
big deal when
Huge,
it
still
happened.
big, yeah.
Huge. Yeah, it's still big.
It's
yeah.
still a
Rupa
big
and Jockey, I would say,
Very
are
big brand.
like the
No, but it
leaders
was
right
the
now.
first underwear brand, right? I mean, and it was like, oh my God, we can, underwear are advertising in
And
India.
for
It
many-
was I remember it came out when I was 13, 14 years old, and it was like a big
And let me
deal.
tell you the thinking behind it. There's a real rationale behind it, which only Karthik and I have been able to get. Most Indian men are frustrated and can't meet girls. So when you're wearing Rupa, it's like Rupa's on you. You know
That's
what
the
I'm saying?
logic in the movie.
Yeah,
by the way.
you're in Rupa, Rupa's on you.
Mere paas
Yeah,
Rupa
similar
hai.
logic in the movie.
Oh, that's the logic?
Yeah, like
That's why the movie didn't work. Because I could have
so
thought of it.
Basically, it was like a dude's name before, and it wasn't selling.
Yeah.
So the guy scratches the name
Rupam
out.
didn't work.
Dalip Tahil did the ads, no? I think
Yeah,
initially.
But then he ran out of banyans. He's a big guy. So they'll switch to somebody else. Yeah. Okay, but coming back in all this jesting, I'm just a little worried. So are you really saying that no one, maybe a generational thing, they don't enjoy ads anymore? The recall and all, like we used to even do them on stage in plays and whatever, school skits and all. I'm sure you did it.
Yeah.
The famous ads. and all
Ad
would
mad,
be-
we used to call them.
Yeah. So
Right.
so that's
no,
gone.
the thing is that it's not fully gone because I'm sure you would have watched some ads in the India-Pakistan match yesterday because it was live.
Yeah,
But
I was
apart
watching
from
Pakistan
live
TV
program,
as a Deshbhakt, so I can tell you if you want to buy land in Karachi, there's this lovely offer. Anyway, go on.
No, the point is even TV programs wait for us. Earlier, we used to wait for TV programs at a particular time. Now we don't wait for them at all. They wait for us and we can catch up with them anytime we want. So why should ads wait for us? We don't need to be interrupted while we are actually enjoying something with ads. Even on YouTube, we just click, skip. Bas, utna hi ho gaya. So we watch ads by choice these days and not because they're just in front of
But
us.
that's a tough
So
one.
all
no?
the more reason they
Now
are
that you
great.
mentioned it,
Very
we have
tough.
we have that option
Very
to click it, and who the hell waits for the ad? The moment you say skip ad, I mean that's like the one time you obey the government. skip ad. Who's the guy who says, no, I won't skip ad. Today I will watch the ad. I'll skip the program. Maybe when they watch this show, that's what happens.
But it's an interesting phenomenon, right? Because I think we talk about this a lot when we talk to advertisers about podcasting itself, right? And sorry to turn this into a podcast plug, but hey, it's a podcast, right? But the idea is that podcast listeners, like myself, yourself, Cyrus, as you're describing, right? We see zero ads. We have complete ad avoidance behaviors in every aspect of our life, right? When you're talking about a computer browser also, most people, because most publications have gone so far, honestly, user hostile level, that the amount of advertising they show, that most people I know have ad blockers on their computers now. Right. And so you don't see ads over there. You don't see ads on, I pay for YouTube, I pay for Netflix, I pay for Hotstar. I don't see ads for any TV that
I've got distracted, Amit, because there's a text in the thing saying this is going to be a serious podcast from Grim Fandango. My only hope is Cyrus.
Yes.
We'll be a little worried. These fellows are so critical. You're allowed to have only 4 lines of seriousness. In the 5th line, you better come up with something either silly, stupid, or insulting is the big thing now. Just go ahead and abuse. But if somebody abused you, Grim Fandango called you an idiot for going on about Lal Singh Chadha, he wants you to let it go. Let it go, bro.
And they lived happily ever after. Silverie let go. Yeah. But the box office did. They let go of it already.
But you think recall of ads is not as good as before?
So absolutely.
I think the big thing here, right? And sorry again to dump on you, Antariksh, but I promise I'll let you talk.
Speak,
I promise I'll let you talk. But no, I think the big thing is the amount of content that's out there in the world, the amount of medium that's out there in the world. The ads that you're talking about most of these ads existing in a world where we had 1, 2, or 5 television channels.
One channel initially. There was no competition. That's how I succeeded. Make sure there's no competition.
Even if you get into like the mid-90s, right? You're still talking about 10 channels, 12 channels. You're not there just wasn't that much out there, right? And so in those...
That's what the BJP is saying right now.
So are you saying like something extraordinary needs to happen for an ad to be noticed? Like that's why the Mahakal Zomato ad thing.
What Karthik is saying, exactly that, right? That now basically in your life, in Cyrus' life, in my life, Karthik's life, I'm guessing that ads are sent to you.
Yeah.
Hey, check out this ad. This is pretty one. This is a well-made ad. This ad
Yeah.
made by this company, right? And that's where you see them.
Karthik, I keep getting for erectile dysfunction. Is there a reason for that?
It's your search history, Cyrus.
Okay.
It depends on your search result, obviously. No, the most important thing is actually for the marketers, it's not that they want their ads to be liked or hated. They want it to be noticed first.
Seen. Yeah.
Ignored is the worst thing that can happen.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
This is what Ghulam Nabi Azad was referring to. He just didn't like the way he was ignored, for a long time. Nobody noticed
Ignore
him.
me better.
Yeah, ignore me in a nicer way. Wear something bright when you ignore me. Exactly that, Karthik. Yeah.
So, Karthik, in the world of advertising, do ad awards then mean much more nowadays? Because like a campaign of yours maybe got noticed more or something?
And Piyush doesn't win it. Piyush Pandey doesn't win it anymore. So that's important also. Otherwise it became a joke, right? One man.
He does, but the point is ads award matters more for new business for ad agencies. Not actually for clients to win more sales actually. So that's the irony there.
Yeah, but even the productivity is so much more. Amit is saying there was only 1 channel or 10 channels, but you have only 40 ads. Now because the market is so bifurcated and trifurcated or whatever. There's no limit. And then the languages change, the cultures change. Soon I'm going to tell you.
So you need to pick and choose which ads you want to watch because there's way too many.
No, I think even like for India, you need class distinctions everywhere. Even cold drink should have like Pepsi class 1, for richer people, then class 2. For Pawai, class 3, Gurgaon, class 4, somewhere deep in the interiors, class 5, NRI who's come but going back, whatever, you can figure it out. We have to have different classes. We should embrace our differences.
That's what advertisers do, right?
Segregate the bastards. I've been saying that. No one's listening to me.
What did you guys think of the Zomato ad?
Were you letting him speak? Amit, I thought we decided don't let him speak.
Not to let him speak?
Yeah, the entire episode. So what do you think about that? So what happened was there's a Hrithik ad going around with Zomato where so depending on your locality and where you're based,
I would say let's play it, but then that would be controversial. So let's not play it.
So depending on where you stay, the different cities that you're in, you will hear different versions of the ad. So say you're in Bombay, it'll be like आज बॉम्बिल खाने का मन किया तो thought I'll call from Ghazali. This is not a Ghazali plug. They haven't paid me or anything, but it's
a pretty good restaurant, and I totally accept Ghazali as an option.
Yeah,
I'll segue into my Badi Mian
story.
So what happened?
So what happened with the controversy is that in Ujjain, the ad said कि थाली खाने का मन किया.
Stop. It's a scientific principle. If he tells a story, there's a city involved. He cannot tell a story without geography. Geography has to be. I'm telling you, he's telling us about his first sexual experience. He's the only guy who says somewhere outside Hampi, and it starts. I mean, always gives us geography references, and I get distracted. I can't understand the story. And all of us who know you, we're only thinking about the geography.
I understand what you're saying. In this particular instance, I will defend him because Ujjain is critical to the.
It is.
Yes.
But why is it that when he tells a story, it is critical? You told 10 stories, not one mention of a city. Karthik has told 5 stories, not one mention of a city. This guy goes bizarre. Now back in Ujjain, ladies and gentlemen, the Ujjain Chronicles.
Yes. The Ujjain version of the ad has Hrithik saying कि थाली खाने का मन किया तो सोचा महाकाल से मंगा लूं. The problem is, Mahakal is also a temple called Sri Mahakaleshwar Temple, which is very sacred to Ujjain.
Right.
So that has all the Hindu right-wing people going,
but they have restaurants with the same name, obviously.
So
cashing in on the
Zomato had to clarify.
Presence.
No, we meant obviously the Mahakal restaurant. The Mahakal temple doesn't even do deliveries. Like, what are you even talking about?
I mean, how do you go to court with this one? What are you supposed to say? You mistook the mandir for the restaurant. Okay, fine. In the present environment, maybe a sensible thing to do.
Correct.
So have they banned Hrithik films or not? Because at the end of the day,
it's going to happen. It's a movie coming out. Vikram Veda's coming out.
I heard it's so bad that even if Hrithik makes a mistake, they ban Amir Khan's films. That's what.
So one thing I heard this from somebody recently, which is interesting, right? You see more of these controversies erupting around Zomato than Swiggy.
You the conspiracy anti-conspiracy theory guy.
No, I'm not doing the conspiracy here. What I'm saying is there is a reason for it. The reason for it is that Zomato has a much stronger social media presence and a much more interesting brand than Swiggy, which is very much like,
It's a class issue, bro.
Segregate
the bastards.
So I think
they're also the bigger brother, right, in a way.
They are the bigger brother.
I don't know. I wonder more from Swiggy more than Zomato, at least personally.
But I think Zomato just...
But I like Zomato a lot.
Zomato just crossed.
Let me tell you, Zomato are more vocal, including the CEO is quite vocal. Correct. He has a point of view.
Yeah, he's known.
Swiggy is generally below the ladder, actually.
Correct, right. Swiggy is like anonymous, right? Whereas Zomato has a voice. So that's why when something like
Swiggy is a wing of the government. It's clear because nobody knows who they are. Exactly. Yeah. It's a Sanskrit word.
That's a good point.
Karthik
Srinivasan. Is Adani buying Swiggy also?
Be careful. Adani, he might buy our podcast as we are talking.
Yeah,
so just be very careful.
I'm happy to sell.
I'm happy to sell to Adani.
I just say,
as long as you...
I'm calling it Gotham from now on. This podcast is renamed Gotham, and that's what it's going to be. All right, as a mark of respect. As long as the money comes in. Actually, what's the big deal? When you have a sponsor, you have to keep saying the name anyway. So it's not like you don't sell out.
That is true.
Karthik, is that right? As an advertising man, are you aligned to any political party or left of center, right of center yourself philosophically?
Nope.
He's not aligned, but he definitely presents a point of view.
Okay. And
that point of view, it's more center.
So I'll tell you. So I've known Karthik, or I haven't known Karthik, but I've known about Karthik for years.
Okay.
Years.
You all meet at the same forum, so then now I know where this is going.
No. In the sense that Karthik's been a prominent person on Twitter. He's spoken about these things, so I've known who he is for a while.
Twitter, Tinder.
The reason why I was finally like, we got to reach out is because he did this amazing series around Yogi. And Yogi's general presence in all the newspapers around the country.
It was his story that was his, I remember.
That was his analysis. Yeah,
going into every vernacular where nobody's heard of him.
Exactly, right? And I'm like, dude, this guy, that kind of led me to the kind of like initial, like, hey, we got to talk to him and figure out how we can do something.
That was a great scoop. Yeah. That was a very interesting thing. And I discussed this with a lot of people. Sorry, Grim Fandango is going to be even more serious and boring now, the show. But that was a little worrisome because there are some factors like that in the past where you've seen people who rise in politics or in power, let's say from medieval times and before, going to areas to create a presence, where the brand is not known, and then slowly that pan collective presence happens. It's a proper campaign, thought out campaign. Okay.
It is propaganda.
Thanks for saving time. I thought we have to kill time anyways. We'll keep beating around the bush till we reach the point. That's the point of the show.
That's fine. What do you think of the India-Pakistan match yesterday?
So I had to drop my son, Mikhail. So I missed the whole game as I walked in. And this is
dude, I saw more of the game than you did.
What am I supposed to do? Okay, my Wi-Fi doesn't work at home. You wanted to work in the car. What's wrong with you?
Pandya played great.
One second. So I came home and I told my mom, what's the score? Because I could hear the TV was on. And she said, don't talk.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. And as I entered the room, he hit a 6 with 2 balls to spare and the match is over. over. And I was like, wow, man. I came back for that one ball. But it was fantastic. Yeah, great feeling.
You didn't watch any highlights or anything?
No. Then after that, I don't know what the government said because we beat Pakistan. So is it a holiday today? I don't know what's the deal. I don't know. Just see, tomorrow, we're going to beat Hong Kong and nobody cares. It'll be so horrible. Yeah.
We had that one story, right, about this match in the story list?
About this match?
So basically, at the NIT in Kashmir, they
in Srinagar,
in Srinagar, they were asked not to have basically no viewing parties.
What does that mean?
So
no India-Pakistan match viewing parties.
Like, so you can't view the match in groups. You
okay, to avoid supporting one or the other and starting a fight.
Avoiding, yes. That's what my guess is.
No, so because in 2016,
I thought it's because
after the India-West Indies match where India lost, a riot had broken out between locals and outstation students about the match.
Yeah, and, but then I'm also guilty because when Viv was playing, I supported West Indies, but nobody took out a citation or petition against me.
Well, yeah, because
it's difficult not to.
That was a little different, right?
Yeah, I guess, but that's not really fair because in the end of the day, it's just a game. You can think of it that way.
Well,
but if the idea is anti-national idea, literally, I mean, that's, it's a tough one to always say.
Yes, I honestly, this is one time I was like, you know what? If I were a college administrator, I don't know that I would have such. I might
want
be
the
on
debit test.
No, I might be on board the same thing, right? I mean, like in the sense
they've
that
already had something like this before.
Yeah, do you really want fights to break out among students over a fucking?
But what I don't understand is that most people want. We talk about Azad Kashmir, and they don't want to be part of Pakistan because ultimately it doesn't make any sense. You want to be part of Pakistan instead of part of India, considering that for what it's worth, they are functioning a little better than Pakistan is. So,
not better.
Yeah, I mean, without sounding right-wing suddenly, because suddenly it'll look like we've lost our minds. But that's the thing I've never understood. So when I traveled in that area a couple of times in my life, and the conversation becomes aap Hindustan se aage, and the guy looks like you and talks sort of like you, but goes into that, and you're suddenly caught by these. It's a very odd moment when that happens because you're suddenly like caught off guard because whoever says that, but they're very polite and sweet and they talk very nicely to you, etc. So whatever, you carry on the conversation. You don't know where to go after that because you're feeling a little awkward.
Yeah.
Where I'm wondering if I crack my normal 3 anti-India jokes, now maybe it's not the right time for that because this guy, he actually doesn't maybe like the country, while we just joke around.
I've had experiences with very, very right-wing US people, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same kind of thing, right? Where because they are quote-unquote Christian, and so they talk so nicely and so softly and so sweetly, and then you hear the...
rhetoric?
Not the rhetoric,
change
but
in
you
narrative?
hear the echo
Undertone
of the real nastiness that exists there sometimes, right? The intolerance that exists there. That's what the problem
is.
Like
a lot of Republican politicians like Lindsey Graham, if you hear him talk, he's a very soft-spoken, nice, kind, seems like a person. But then his policies are like completely the opposite.
That's why I like Yogi. Because when I heard him talk, there was no doubt in my mind. I was like, yeah. But just remember that Amit already has a green card and is a passport holder. So he can say what he wants about the US and they have to accept it because that's democracy. But if we say things, your visa will be revoked. All right?
Yeah.
And you've got a 10-year student visa in spite of the fact that you're no student.
That's true. Yeah. It's all true. It's all facts.
Yeah. So be very careful because this show is watched by the West.
Yeah.
It's just not watched in Ujjain. So we're okay to talk about that topic. Ujjain, we have no membership.
Talking about students though.
Bolo?
2 school associations in Karnataka, which collectively...
Once in Karnataka, we have the expert. His name is Karthik. He's the guy.
Correct.
To double check everything.
Are you part of this? Okay.
Yeah, he is. He's a teacher by day.
Okay. So 2 school associations in Karnataka have written a letter to Prime Minister Modi. So these 2 organizations...
But it's in Kannada, so as of now, no reply has happened. You know how the South versus Hindi issue is going on and on. So the communication is all over the place.
These 2 organizations represent about 13,000 Karnatakan schools.
Karnatakan? बहुत बढ़िया sir. तूने जो किया ना पारसी में नहीं कर सकता. Just destroy everyone. Make up your own words. Call them anything you want. Karnatakans, I tell you, come here. Yeah. Why bother thinking it through also? I'll just make it up.
Well, it's not that wrong.
It's very wrong.
When you reach, we just discussed the fringe, the Christian right-wing fringe in the US. There's also the Kannada fringe there. Okay, when you cross.
I'll say South Indian schools.
Take this visiting card. Ram Sene.
I know
his name is Mutalik. Talk to Mr. Mutalik. I've got his. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
And the problem, this is actually bad because it's just stupidity. when they're trying to insult, I understand, but it's just stupidity, ignorance. Yeah. Sorry, bro. As usual.
So schools from Karnataka, 13,000 of them.
Oh God, how are we going to go ahead?
And They written a letter saying that there's a lot of corruption in the Karnataka education board, where just to get school certified with the state certificate, they're asking for like bribes, and this has happened repeatedly, and they have hence written a letter to the Prime Minister to investigate.
So the North has come to the South finally. They've caught up.
So that's it. They have basically written a letter to the Prime Minister.
Wow, what an anticlimax. Yeah.
A letter to the Prime Minister.
This is what girls go through with me.
But there could be investigation. But this is like a common thing that happens, right? Already schools have been accused of this earlier.
But I thought it's, what is the word? In medical schools and all, which they allow, the
management quota. What?
Management quota, yeah, that's only.
it's open, it's sort of legalized.
This is not that. This is for the school license.
This is not that. So this is not from students. This is actually to open a school or to actually run the school, you need to pay bribe to the government.
Right.
That one. And this actually follows the earlier letter by the construction industry, which said the same thing, that ministers ask for a cut. And they also wrote a letter to the Prime Minister.
This is what the mafia...
But how do you expect the ministers to manage with their VIP entourage? They can't pay for all those guys. Yeah, they've got to find ways to put the money together. I don't blame them. When one minister from nowhere gets 75 cars and 45 policemen and 1,000 motorbikes following him everywhere, the money, what we call kharch, has to be organized. Come on. So I think you guys are being unnecessarily negative. It's very good for commerce. As long as money is made and education is spread, who are we to talk? Plus,
but
you can pay in white.
Is not being spread because money is not paid.
Why is money not being paid? Who's stopping them?
Well, I mean, like, you need to have money, and also 40%
I speak as a Karnatakan. Let me just explain.
Dude, that might be a t-shirt, man.
Yeah, Karnatakan.
We got to be careful. It's funny, but it's also, it just takes one guy to go.
There you go. That's the t-shirt.
The
Pawaikan.
The Pawaikan. The Pawaikan we can.
Yeah,
nobody in Pawai is happy to be there.
Well,
sorry. Yeah. So final words on that then.
It's wrong.
So has the Prime Minister replied?
And Prime Minister hasn't replied yet.
We won't know that.
Yeah,
he will probably reply in one of his Mann Ki Baat.
Yeah.
No, but if it begins with Mitro, then it's from him. If it's any
Karnatakan school है जो बहुत उदास रहता है आजकल.
So it is the BJP government.
Correct. Yeah.
All said and done.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of why this thing erupted a little bit, right?
Yeah.
It's a BJP government in Karnataka.
And it's always a close call. On the weekend, it can change.
No, so the question that people are asking, right, is that basically with a non-BJP government, would the center have taken action based on these?
Bro, this is Indian politics at its best, is it not? Every time this happens, they go into spiral into the other philosophy behind everything. Also the specifics of what happened is always lost in this.
And I will say this as well, right? Towards your question about asking why do they not just pay the money, part of that is also the fact that there is definitely some, like, these letters are not appearing out of nowhere. Right, these letters getting the kind of publicity, getting the kind of this, they're not coming from nowhere, right? There are people pulling levers in the back.
Point fingers? We give $50 to the watchman to double park the car when you go to somebody's building, and I mean, what the hell? Where is it all coming from? This country is the way it is, man. Corruption should be accepted as a form of art. We're good at it. We have the corruption Olympics or whatever, and hopefully for the first year we'll win till Japan and China take it under their wing, and then we come third, and then slowly South American countries beat us, and then of course because of anabolic use, all the Eastern European countries come into it, and we get nothing. But we have cricket. As long as we beat Pakistan once a year, we should be okay.
Ramanathan Neelakantan has a very funny comment.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Silverie, geography expert.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Silverie, if Rishi can take the time, or one of our producers can actually sit in a library and put together all your moments, it will be worth selling.
Man, there are too many to count.
We'll just stitch a montage of all these colorful moments involving countries, cities, towns, wrong pronunciations, names. And I'm telling you, boss, it'll be worth. That's something I'd watch. I'd never watch this podcast. I'd watch that.
Okay, cool. Noted.
Karthik, would you watch that on your off time when you're not trying to destroy governments? Huh?
Maybe.
Yes.
Let's make it then. Karthik will.
He's from Bangalore. So when he says maybe, they're polite people. So he means fuck you. Okay? There's no way you bench shot. I'm going to watch anything you fucking put on. You don't understand Kannadian.
Yeah.
You don't understand Kannadian. So I have to explain it to you.
Correct. Yeah.
I apologize to all listeners. It's just part of the Silverie act. We have to carry on. No. Don't forget the accents.
Now I can never get it right.
Can you do a Kannada accent?
No, please don't.
I'm not gonna know.
Who said please don't?
Everyone said please don't.
Amit saying from a legal point of view. He's just worried, where's the line? There's a line.
As long as you do your Scottish and British and French.
Yeah.
And
It's
German,
all now the same.
Fine,
the Scottish guy is from Bangalore. It's all the same now, don't you know?
But don't call it a Kannada accent, especially after the Karnatakan
design. He did a great one the other day. Splits. God, I can't remember. Rishi, what did he do? Huh? Japanese? Was it Japanese?
No, that was anime. like anime English words.
Hey, so I saw the first episode of Naruto this weekend.
Why?
I did not
They
like
like
it
children.
at all.
No.
We didn't have to segue there.
So
I want to
Naruto,
get
you
the
won't like
accent.
Naruto.
Who was talking about the
At
anime?
this point, you won't like Naruto.
Get out of this
Yeah,
podcast.
okay. I
Whoever's
heard this is
listening, leave
supposed to be
now.
amazing.
I can't
This is the
control these
best one
guys.
ever.
So
It's
8-year-olds.
one
I
episode.
got a video game. Let's
Okay.
play. What's going on?
So how anime works is one episode is never enough. You have to give it at least 5 or 10 episodes to see if you like it, and then it continues further.
That's what I told my
Naruto's
wife.
over 500
I
episodes.
told her 5 years or 10 years the marriage
that's
will
what-
work.
Yeah, well.
It's been 20.
But also, Naruto comes under something called shonen. Sorry, guys, which means long form
Why
for
don't you
young,
talk to
it's like
the
young
wall? We'll
fiction.
take a break.
For young
Okay.
fiction. So you may not be
It
that
did not.
Yeah.
It did not appeal.
And
to me.
early
Karthik,
on,
you want
it
to
was
have a
also
private
meant for-
conversation? Shall I call you on your phone or something?
No.
With these two are taking
I was
off
just
now.
wondering, he didn't mention which city Shonen is from.
He will.
Japan is
time.
from Japan. So Tokyo and
Now
all
that's the
those
only city he
Kyoto,
knows.
Kyoto.
Osaka.
Uh,
Osaka.
Sure. Is that
Kung
is that
Fu,
a
Kung
city?
Fu. That's right on the border with China.
Okay.
Bro, you should
Then
know
yes.
your Kung Fu.
I was supposed to know.
You know your anime, I'm saying. I South-fied it up. Anime becomes anime. Anime Karthik. Anime is a good one.
Like a name anyway.
Okay, so now we do take a... Sorry, this is really... Hemisha, please save the show. You're the only voice of reason.
Hemisha says, I am a Karnatakan. She said-
You have lots of guys from that area. I won't take names. Are all deciding to go with it.
Yes.
You've changed the
No, you're
world.
not asked to, yeah. It's,
You're a natural born leader. Hemisha,
There it
there.
is.
Not bad. Not
yeah.
bad at all. Are we breaking?
Yes, please.
Who's in charge of the show?
I'm supposed to be.
Oh, you
but,
are. You are. Okay.
Yeah. So let's take a break, guys.
Okay.
And we'll be right back after this.
Wow, you guys have no idea what happened while the break was on. These two were at it. It was like, I don't know, Sunny Liston and Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay then.
We were on the brink of something great.
We were left out. The rest of us just watched the greatness at its greatest. But a lot of people are going on about in the comments about the Karnatakan word.
Yeah.
So you become
Karnatakan mein anime kehte hain.
Yeah, it's an
That's right.
iconic. Yeah, you can read a few, and I'm just saying that you've left your imprint again. The
Again,
indelible
like
imprint.
every episode, I think I fail to disappoint every episode.
Forget that. What is Abbas doing? Because you've left him far behind. There are silvery moments which now are making the show. You are
Ready
now
for
bigger.
sunshine.
There's the show and there's silvery. And Abbas, I don't know where to put him now. I mean, and not
fine,
to
man,
mention
it's
that
fine.
he's a little large. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's
No,
fine.
it's so personal,
Why you are
unnecessary.
doing that?
Really, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Really. Don't
Okay,
say that
fine,
again.
fine. All right, let's get to another topic. This one is from Noida. Cyrus, location?
I like the way you're looking in a direction.
Yes.
Like, maybe Noida's that way. वो Noida से आ गया. Right.
All right. In Noida, famous Supertech twin towers have finally been demolished after years and years of legal actions against them. And basically, it was illegal construction that had been taking place.
If that is so, 80% of Mumbai should go. You know, I mean, really, think about it. 60% of Delhi.
I think the most cogent comment I heard about this is somebody asked the question on Twitter. Exactly how far are these Noida towers from the Noida TV studios? That's the only thing that
Good
matters
point.
here, right?
Good point.
I don't think that otherwise nobody would ever care about the fact that two buildings are dropping.
But it was quite a sight to behold.
No, great video.
Yeah,
but dude,
that's
I mean,
that's it.
you
literally.
can see.
You can do so much more with those buildings also. I don't even understand.
See
No, but
demolition
listen,
videos on.
That's
all,
true.
It means
all
India is no
over the
longer a
place.
third world country. We're a first world country because
Yeah.
you can build buildings, just break them, and
Yeah.
everybody watches
Yeah.
it, takes a picture.
We don't even need planes to destroy our buildings. Sorry.
Oh, Karnatakan.
No, I also believe
red
that
card.
more people
Red
were
card.
interested in watching
Okay.
the demolition than
Okay.
the India-Pakistan matches today.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's-
So
Well-
every channel had a live stream on YouTube, man.
Yeah.
India Today had one, CNN IBN had one. All of them had.
Apparently,
live streams
KL
on YouTube.
Rahul, not to make a Karnatakan joke, KL Rahul was watching it because he didn't watch the ball. And sorry, he just couldn't
You got out on
resist.
zero. Yes.
He couldn't resist.
Duck.
Yeah.
You got ducked out.
Sorry about
Match-related
that.
joke was
Yeah,
yesterday?
just couldn't resist. Karthik got it.
Yeah.
Please.
I also got it.
But then you were trying to explain it.
Yeah.
You didn't really get it.
But
you
wait,
won't explain
dude, the
really
one
explain
match
it.
I watched
Oh, he
all
got out
year.
on zero. What the hell?
Yeah. I know Virat
I'll
and
give-
Jadeja both scored 35.
Can I say
He's
something?
reading it out, the bastard.
I feel like I don't know why, but I didn't even know there was a match yesterday.
Oh,
I had
really?
absolutely no
It's
idea.
amazing.
I found out.
Screwed in guy.
I found
Who's
out.
screwed in on everything.
Today
Why are you
morning.
so anti-cricket?
I'm not anti. I found out in the morning when I was
You're
talking
a Desh
to a
Drohi.
friend.
Yeah.
If you're anti-cricket, you're a Desh Drohi.
You're wearing green, I noticed.
You're wearing
Amit.
green.
Yeah. some
Yes,
sense.
I am. Yes, I am. I'm
Yes.
wearing green.
Yes.
And the problem is that Pakistan Zindabad, Hindustan Zindabad, it's difficult to tell what you're saying when you're chanting loudly. So we
Okay.
don't even know. We'll not play the tape back.
Correct.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's-
Maybe they should actually call the two buildings Pakistan and China, and then when they're falling, they can all cheer.
You're back. You're back in the fold. The government welcomes you with open arms. You're back.
Oh, great.
You will get a license to build your school tomorrow afternoon. Don't worry.
So, did you guys watch the demolition of the video of the building?
So I saw a bit of it.
Yeah.
But can I tell you my story?
I saw it.
Have you
The dust cloud is huge.
Have you heard of this?
Delhi, no, they need more dust.
Exactly.
Have you heard of this
Dude,
movie?
they're saying they take months to clear out all the dust and debris because of
Nobody
this anyway.
cares. Nobody cares.
Dude, why?
Well, as long as
So I
Delhi looks
wonder,
bad,
right?
the
You know
center
why-
is happy.
You know
Yeah.
why this happened, right? It happened because no, it's Noida. It's not Delhi.
That's true. Oh God, you're right.
But the reason why
I did a Silverie.
the reason why
Medical
it happened was the neighboring building. So this was supposed to be initially a 12 building complex. They
You mean it was a mistake? That's funny.
18 different. The builders basically made it 12 buildings.
Aiming, not beaming.
Oh, God.
The initial people who were there, right? They sued and they're like, these buildings are not supposed to be there. This building is too close. It's unsafe. This, that. I wonder what they think now. After the building is dropped, it's kind of screwed up their, their houses.
So
Their
I've seen-
foundation will get screwed up.
I've seen an implosion live in 1994.
Oh.
I think Arnold film, I think Last Action Hero, and they advertised it in New York. So you could come and watch it because they'd be shooting the. I didn't know about the signs that it implodes from inside.
yeah.
They put a barrier and it stays in that. So you were also fascinated by it.
I saw one live in Philadelphia too once.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
There you go. So then we go back and then we run the country. And we say, let's do this here. Beta, who you don't like in Noida? Come here.
Well, I mean, this is how you get rid of a building, right? There's no other way. You have to do it like this. You can't dismantle it piece by
My point
piece.
is, so from a clinical
Aren't you,
point of
like-
view, not to be insensitive, but from a clinical point of view, it is quite a fascinating when you see it live. Also on TV, but on live, it's amazing to just see
It
it.
is, yeah. It
Sort of,
looks.
the science involved in it, just staying in that area. But you expect it to go all over the place.
Yeah.
And it being Noida, you wouldn't have noticed. No, I take that back. That's unnecessary. Don't say that.
Yeah.
By the way, what do you call people from Noida? We finished with Karnatakans?
Noidans.
Noidans.
I call them Noidi people.
Annoying.
Noidi.
Like annoying. Like you get annoyed. Okay, get it.
Annoying.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. All right, let's get into some AMAs.
Silverie said, did you watch the building of the video of the Rishi, you gotta play this back when these things happen. We have to. It's gold, bro.
Can you show
Pure
that comment
gold.
again?
Silverie said, did you watch the building of the video of the demolition? He is the youngest. His organs are the sharpest.
What
His
is
hormone
happening?
level is great. His brain is fantastic.
Yeah.
This is the best of Silverie.
Yeah.
10 years from now, that'll be a building that's collapsed. I can tell you.
Welcome to an episode of the Advertiser's Guide to the Galaxy.
Wow.
We're having a great time.
Karthik is trying to pull out to quote George Bush. Is that enough? Really? Okay, Yogi ji has other
AMAs.
plans for Dussehra, by the way. Huh? Because we had discussed him for a little while.
Okay, great.
You know who he is, right?
A
He's not
little
the
bit.
rapper Yogi G. He's like, Yogi, these pop culture
Andy G
Indians.
and Yogi
You
G.
can do what you want as
He's
a
a
politician.
Sacha Baron Cohen
Yeah.
character. Yeah.
Isn't it great? I call it the South Mumbai swag, where some of the ladies in South Mumbai that I've grown up with, no idea. There could be horrible things happening in a city and, burning and, this building thing, no clue. You can just talk about it and it goes over the head.
Yep.
No worries. That was sexist. It's not just women, men, transgenders and all the other. How many genders are there, Amit? 81, 83.
Gender is fluid.
Wow. God. Talk about someone who doesn't want to take a chance.
Yeah.
I don't commit. Amit's latest mantra. You get your own podcast. I don't commit.
All right.
Follow me at Instagram and Twitter on Bored Brocha. I'm so bored, I need your help. I need your love. I need your touch. Okay, just follow me.
First AMA question comes in from Gaurav Pilania, who says...
So fast, AMAs. You ran out of topics today, bro. That's well.
We ran through all the topics.
We ran through all the topics.
Did we?
We ran through the big
The
ones.
building is the only thing I remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
We spoke about most of the stuff. You wanted to talk about something right now. You were just mentioning that. Did we get into that? No.
God, I've got Alzheimer's. I can't remember who
Okay,
you
well,
are.
I can't remember what it was. Yeah.
It's fine. We have enough AMAs.
Right.
Oh, yeah. The racism attack.
The lady.
That's the
lady.
first AMA.
The first
okay,
AMAs.
alright.
Oh, sounds like it's all set up here.
Yeah.
Like a
Gaurav
rehearsal.
Pilania.
The five people in
We
the
have
chat
such
are our
planning,
people.
Such
Yes.
amazing planning.
It's like, Mom, send that question.
Gaurav Pilana says, good morning, everyone. Thoughts on the Texas woman racially abusing 4 Indian ladies, saying, you Indians are everywhere, while she herself is Mexican American.
That being Mexican American is neither here nor there. It's just that people don't want anything that's not them. The
that's
difference
right.
whether it's one
But
degree
brown
of
people
color.
are so close. We're almost the same.
No, they don't.
They have a lot of the spicy food and all also.
So
We
because
also
of the
get it.
chili, you feel a great
a
kindred
lot
spirit.
of brown people. we
Every
should be
Mexican
together,
drinks
yeah?
alcohol. You know how many Indians pretend not to? straight away. That's why I go with Mexico almost every time. When Mexico plays India at football, I'm cheering Mexico Zindabad. Ole, ole. Mexico. I've got to mix it up. It doesn't make any sense. Karthik's going berserk. He's having an orgasm.
Oh, maybe
First time on a podcast.
Indians are taking Mexican jobs over there as well. They're like,
So it's the same as Indian racism in the US, right? There is a class of Mexican which is basically considers themselves white.
It's a jealousy.
No, they consider them white. They consider themselves.
Also, towards, if you look at it from the Indian point of view, I'm saying, I get what you're saying. So then, as they get more influential, they become more like the color establishment.
You hear this from the Indian people who go up there from the upper echelons of India.
I have another slightly different perspective, which is very racist actually, which I've heard people say, not once but many times, which is that Indians being overachievers generally abroad and doing really well, they irritate a lot of people whose peoples are not necessarily known to be overachievers.
Right.
Okay, now without being racist, if you know what I mean. Huh?
That's not the case here, right? Because this
particular case?
In this particular case, this
But her mother, her father, her uncles, her aunts, we don't know where they come from.
She comes from that conquistador kind of lineage, right? She is one of... So there is...
So she was born in a hacienda with 6,000 people working for her. She's Indian.
So
clearly Indian.
When you look at Mexicans, right, there is the European heritage Mexicans, like pure European heritage Mexicans, and then there are people who are descendants of the more indigenous peoples, the slaves, like black people who have been brought in, that kind of stuff, right? So when you think of Mexican, you're mostly
they have their own racial profiling.
You're thinking of that. You're not thinking of the...
Hey, hombre, what you thinking of? Huh?
Is that racist now? I don't know.
I'm doing Japanese, bro. I'm doing Japanese.
People,
well, let's talk about what happened. You guys are discussing the
yeah,
incident.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like, what happened was like she was racist and she was awful
but what
to
did she did the accent or what was it?
No, she didn't do the accent. She's like, Indians need to go away. I can't believe that you guys are
she
all
said
here.
something with the accent.
She pulled a gun or something.
She mentioned
like
Appu.
No, she mentioned the accent. She mentioned that. I mean, like, you guys can the way you're talking and stuff. It was stupid. I mean, it's a stupid racist.
And did she pull the gun out?
So she said that she was going to pull a gun out, but then I don't think I actually saw one on the video, so I'm not sure.
Okay, so it was a threat.
There was a threat for it, for sure.
In India, because of your Garib Desh, we used to say, chappal se marunga. But it's the same thing. I'm going to do something, but I don't do it. I used to hear that a lot.
She might have a...
There's a big difference if she pulled a gun out or said she's going to pull a gun out, right?
Yeah, but she might have a gun. I mean, like, we don't know that she didn't have a gun.
I did something similar on my Suhag Rats. Didn't work. Literally.
Right. Mithun Manas has asked MA for Karthik.
Mithun Manas, the cricketer, yes, from Delhi.
He says, for Karthik, Netflix is going into ads business. Your opinion on that?
Karthik?
It's long overdue actually, because all the other OTT platforms have ads in them. Netflix probably one of them, and probably they're losing money. So it's eventual, I guess.
So why were they holding out? Why were they holding out in the first place?
Because of the user experience, right?
Because of the user experience, exactly.
Yeah.
So because it gets very cluttered with
unique...
ads and etc. So at least for the paying people, I hope they don't show ads. They have a separate tier with ads alone. But Netflix is still going to be subscription only. But the lowest tier, which will be I think whatever $2.99, will have ads.
Will have ads. Yeah, that's what
again. It's a class,
but it's still
class conscious. Segregate the guys. Okay, I like it. I like the thinking.
So I mean, this is India is notorious for this, right? People will not pay for stuff, but they will get.
You're punished. It's a penalty.
No, there's a thing that somebody talks that's talked about quite a bit, right? This idea of will you pay for time?
Let's give him a name.
Huh?
Robert Hubbard said...
it's not said by this guy originally, but Kunal Shah talks about this a lot. Kunal Shah, the correct
Robert Hubbard.
Huh? Okay.
He's got a lot of money here, Karthik. We all became very grim fandango ourselves immediately. Kunal Shah.
But the question becomes, what do you value more, time or money? Right? In that sense, right? I mean, like, at what point does time... Obviously, there is some point at which money obviously values time higher, but what winds up happening from a content consumption perspective is people are willing to spend an extra 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes watching content rather than spending 300 rupees a month for getting that content without an ad.
Having said that, I watched Batman, of course, now, months after it came out.
Even I just saw it. I liked it a lot.
I liked it, but I wouldn't mind a few ads in between because
it's long.
Long, yeah.
It's long.
I mean, give me a break for 2 minutes. Yeah, all that, So I do. Maybe we're raised on sport where ads, are part of live sport, and then you need those breaks in between. Our biggest problem is when my dad was he's not so well now. We used to insist no one talk while the game is on. So you talk when the break is on, and we used to mute the ads. So I don't know the audio of any ads from 1990 onwards, but I know the visuals. I get a million Soman, yes, but I don't know what he's saying. No idea.
Do you guys remember when Tata Sky had launched HD channels? They kept advertising no ads on these channels, watch the HD, ad-free versions. And then immediately, like a few months later...
Karthik is responsible. Karthik is responsible.
Karthik is responsible,
Tatas don't do anything without checking in with him. Am I right to say this? Karthik?
No, please don't say that.
Karthik, when you call your own phone, is it Karthik calling Karthik? No, that's a bad film. Sorry. It's unnecessary.
Cyrus, did you follow the 9-0 thrashing of Bournemouth by Liverpool?
My son
The crowd was shouting.
The thing
in
is,
final
it's been
minutes
the worst start.
as
Quick
if-
football. Karthik, are you a football guy at all?
Nope, not at all.
Okay, great. So let's talk for half an hour then. Yeah, so no, I think Liverpool's worst start quickly in the last so many years, and 2 draws and a loss to Man U. That's Pakistan beating India. Okay, you must understand how terrible that is in every way. And then this 9-0 was like a fairy tale. It was like, it makes no sense.
Can I just say this? I'm not the biggest EPL fan.
Yeah.
I don't say that. But I know a little bit.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of this team,
Yeah,
Bournemouth.
No, that's not fair.
I've never even
That's
heard
not
of
fair.
them.
Look, they got 4 or 5 teams which are the creme. Okay, the creme.
Yeah.
It's like
But I've
even the
never even
IPL has 3
heard
4
of
teams
this
which are.
team, dude.
That's not fair.
It's beating up on the little
Actually,
sisters
in
of
the
league.
no, bro, there's not that much difference. Okay, ask Rishi, the only one who knows football here. There's not that much difference
Is there that much of a
on
difference?
paper.
They're a much smaller team, right?
There is a much smaller team.
Much smaller team,
in
much less
name.
resources.
No.
I'm sure that they have
Resources,
like
you
nowhere
can't
close
match
to
the top
players.
5, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like India beating up on Netherlands. Yeah, okay.
Touch and go. If
Big
Rahul
deal.
can bat and get it right, then of course. Not a point out to my Karnatakan friends here. Couldn't resist that.
I see.
Huge fan of
Can
KL
I
Rahul,
just
by
say
the way,
this
yeah.
though? I mean, like over the 7 years that we've been doing this podcast, you initially didn't give a shit about Liverpool. You really
No,
did.
I-
You didn't care
did give.
at all.
I did give.
No.
The thing
It
is,
was all
it's-
making
listen,
fun of
you
the
don't-
fact that Mikhail is making me watch matches.
No, he doesn't.
I have to watch because of that.
He'd
And
make
now
us.
you
No,
really
I mean, he
care.
didn't get it. It's a Panvati thing. So you have to stay where you are. You can't cross. You can't talk. And then he screams and cries late night. Okay, so all the India time is terrible. So at 12:30, 1:30, my mom comes out of the room. I come out of the room because we don't even know if he's upset or it all sounds the same. Hysteria. That's the problem. And then because he goes away, you have a connect with your child. So it starts becoming something you're missing.
But that-
and
I'm
so now I
saying-
miss liver fucking pool. Although I don't even like football that much. And this is the way it is. They trap you like before wicket.
I'm just remarking on how crazy it is. You did not care.
Bro,
you
once
only used to
you know
complain
as an
about
NBA
it.
lover, once you invest in a sport, you
Oh,
go
yeah,
all
I
in, right?
enjoy it.
And then slowly it gets to you. And football has that capacity to get to you. Ask Rishi. You guys do you like football? Okay, why is he here? Our producer doesn't seem to have anything to say.
He is here because Spurs isn't
Oh,
there.
Aditya says I'm a plastic fan, and that's correct. I am. Karthik, on the other hand, has no time. What do you like cricket, Karthik? What's your sport?
I don't like sports much, generally.
Wow, there was a word for you, but it's wrong to say because now we're all equal. And, you don't get into all that. It's all not woke.
Nice.
I don't want woke.
Cyrus, did you finally watch the last?
Can you ask me that in a
dance?
Japanese accent?
Did you watch The Last Dancer? Sorry, that was very badly done.
Is that racist? I don't want to be part of this.
No,
What the hell is he doing?
No, so in this is a part of anime where like there are like English words
Yeah.
which don't have a Japanese translation, especially like
Okay.
they're doing their special
See,
moves.
I'm clearing up his stand-up for him.
And,
These are the good diamonds he's getting now.
this is
He can sit and do this for
terrible.
5 minutes. He takes out the names. People who, of course, you have
So
an
bad.
audience like Amit. You need 10 Amits. So they understand what you're talking about. That's set up. Then you need to go to Ujjain for one gag.
Yeah.
Because you got to figure out all these things.
Right? True.
Where were we?
Sorry, I was saying something else.
The Last Dance. That's
Last
his
Dance.
territory.
Yeah, did you watch
No,
it?
I've got to see it. I've got to
It's
see it.
excellent.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, you saw it?
But I watch a lot of
I became a
Shaq.
basketball fan because of the
Yeah,
documentary.
I mean,
I watch a
Oh,
lot of
man, it's
Shaq
great.
online now, and it keeps
the
coming
Shaq,
back.
Shaq podcast.
Yeah.
There's a new
Not to confuse him with
The
Jordan.
Lakers
but,
documentary.
the Laker documentary that's
Yeah.
come out. I started watching that a little bit.
but he's quite a fascinating guy. Sorry.
Who, Shaq?
Shaq, yeah.
Shaq is amazing.
As a person, I'm saying.
Yeah.
Forget the fact that he's a great athlete
Yeah,
or whatever
yeah,
he's
yeah.
achieved and all. But he's just an interesting guy, and he just seems very nice.
Yes.
Like really nice. I can't find any fault with
Have
him.
you ever met a basketball like NBA player?
In life, once upon a time I was in a locker room. I didn't meet anybody.
Wow,
but
this
I
is
saw
one of those
them.
bachpan ki This is going to
saw
take
them.
us back.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
No,
nice.
I didn't meet anybody,
Yeah.
but I saw them all. It was the season finale of the Sixers after they lost and they didn't make the playoffs.
Okay.
And they were all pissed off, and so they were just shouting, "We're gonna be there next year. We're gonna be there next year." But I didn't meet them. I didn't know them. I was.
Can I
there-
tell you something similar?
Huh?
Season finale you brought up. I watched. Okay, this is confession, and I'm going to say it once and don't ask me about it again. I sat with Maya, my 15-year-old daughter, and I watched. How do I say this? And then you guys will walk out of the studio. Bollywood Wives.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
terrible, dude.
And
Dude, got a headache. Please tell me you got a headache.
Liked it.
What are you saying?
Okay.
No, Cyrus, I just lost so much respect for you.
I don't know what's
I
wrong
have
with
a-
me.
I
I
have a-
told her to tie me up and put
You
me in
saw
a
Indian
room.
matchmaking, is it?
She
I
will-
saw the second season, 4 episodes of Indian
That's
matchmaking.
next.
Dude,
That's
no.
next.
It wasn't as
You
awesome
Simma!
as
You watched
I
it
thought it
alone.
would be. No, you matter what.
Okay,
I watched
thank
it
God.
alone.
Thank
I,
God. Thank
so
God.
I saw the first 4 episodes
Okay.
last weekend
Okay,
when
okay.
I was out of town.
Yeah.
I was with some friends and they wanted to watch it.
Thing is-
And then I am not watching it by
Oh,
myself.
yeah, thank God.
How can
Yeah.
my
I
daughter,
thought you, like, chose
who
it all
loves,
yourself, like
who
that.
loves The Simpsons
I know.
and Family Guy and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, also like Bollywood
Dude,
vibes?
Dude,
so
it's
Indian
terrible.
matchmaking was kind of
Indian matchmaking.
man. It was kind of like,
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting and it's kind
Indian
of
matchmaking
funny.
is, I understand. Bollywood-wise is terrible though, dude. Like, I don't know how you watched it, how you liked it also.
Do you know
I'm
Mahip
beyond
Kapoor
myself.
uses the F word 11 times in 3 minutes in one sequence? I counted, I played it
Wow.
back. 11 times. I said,
Gino,
why did-
Gino.
I said, why didn't I marry her? Oh, okay, I was gonna make a Sanjay Kapoor joke, but I won't. He's a sweet guy. Yeah.
But, oh man. And that's also getting a second season, you know that? Your Bollywood
It should.
wives?
And in the middle of all that is Karan Johar.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
He comes to do a rapid fire round.
But he's not exactly a
episode.
Bollywood,
Wife.
Yeah, that's
not.
the word.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
I
he's
don't.
just
I mean,
a special guest to add, like, dude,
He's
how will
the
they get
producer
viewers?
of
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah, how will they get viewers, man? How Netflix wants viewers?
No, it's quite watchable.
No,
in,
no.
in a Kim
But, like,
Kardashian,
it's just selling it more. No,
it's
they,
got a
why they
voyeuristic.
get
Oh, it's
Arjun
like Big Boss.
Kapoor and Karan
No,
Johar on the
it's
show.
like page 3. It's there.
Yeah.
The thing is, you become, because of this show, intellectually superior, and now you can't take it anymore because of we've cleansed you. But
Yeah.
while we've cleansed you, we've lost me. You know,
Yeah,
this is what
basically,
happens.
yeah, man. It's
The
very
balance.
sad. Very sad to see.
Yeah.
Um,
Karthik will tell us the truth now. Back in Bangalore,
It's advertising.
are you watching
Because of-
Bollywood Wives? And who's your favorite?
No, I'm
Wink,
not.
wink. Huh? What do you think of Simma? Simma with an I. Huh?
I don't watch the season, but I know about it. That's
Yeah.
enough.
So I never saw the first season, right? I was
How can you not see the first season?
No.
That
Indian
was
matchmaking.
Indian
iconic,
matchmaking.
man.
Great.
Not interesting to me,
Was
man.
We
Actually,
thought we'd laugh
but-
through it, but we couldn't
Yeah.
stop watching it,
No,
me and the
but-
wife. We bonded
Yeah.
again.
So I kept
There's people out there who suck and I have a worse coupling than us. Yeah.
So there was that one woman who was just awful, right?
Aparna. Yes.
Oh my God,
She's not awful.
Her mother called one of the suitors for her daughter called loser Shini. Called the guy.
That was in the
loser.
first season?
What do you
First
think?
season, yeah.
Sylvie, what do you think our parents talk about?
She's in the
when
second
we
season
Yeah,
too,
sure,
and
but
she's just as awful.
Parents
I don't know how
talk
awful
like
she
that.
is.
So I
Dude,
think you have no idea
You know
what
what?
you're saying.
Indian matchmaking makes you realize that Seema Taparia is just bad at her job.
She's not bad
She's
at her job.
terrible. One of the couples are ever together. Nobody
I am
finds
using
happiness. Nobody gets married.
We are trying to find Peter a wife, my Salyuki, and I'm using her.
Yes. Sure.
Salyuki kutta hota hai.
Ah, okay, all right.
Sure.
Salyuki, famous breed. Yeah. Very old.
All right. Next one. Shavik Bakshi has asked, why do ads nowadays have no jingles or don't have jingles?
That's a very good question. But it's probably a factor of we listening to ads on radio first, and those are the jingles that
Shovek, you
remember a lot
Buddha.
more. These days,
Call him
there is
out,
hardly
man.
any
Radio.
jingles actually worth remembering. That's very true.
Arey, just shout, yaar, because he won't hear you.
Be louder. Shout.
Eh? Beta, jingle ka hai?
But so,
Fantastic hai. Beta, jingle ka hai?
while there aren't jingles anymore, I think one thing that I've been seeing more and more, right, is the concept of the mogo, the musical logo.
Very short and sweet.
Very short.
So like Britannia
Ting, 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 ting.
Britannia,
or ICICI Bank. Yeah,
ICICI Bank,
Yeah.
Intel has one, HDFC has
Yep,
one.
yeah.
IVM podcast has one.
Well, we are getting a new one.
Getting a
But
new
yes,
one also.
Listen,
but-
guys, I'm close to A.R. Rahman. He carried my bag, as I told you many times.
Oh, wow.
You want him to do this for you? It's a small one phone call.
Do
Won't
it.
take
Yeah,
long.
let's do it.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'm the only one who calls him A. Everyone else they normally say boss or Rahman sir and all that. I say A.
Ah.
I just say A.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm that close. I'm saying. I'm that
I
friendly.
know.
He stays in my colony, by the way. Raisa Vihar, Powai.
Ah.
I just remembered this. I don't know why I didn't bring this up. The
Why
number of
would he-
times
Why would he
you've
be
brought up.
staying? Why would he be staying in Powai?
Because,
There's no
Powai is
studios
because
there?
I stay in Powai. That's why I remember.
Oh, okay. So is
It's
there a
like-
building that's going to be blown up or something? You two guys have bought land there. Chalo.
But yeah, he has like a whole studio and everything.
Is it true you stand outside his building and sing Ma tujhe salam?
Yeah, correct. All of that.
Mama
Yes,
tujhe
correct.
salam.
Yes, I do that.
Sorry, you'll never come on this show again, right, Karthik? I'm trying to read your thought blurb. The blurb in the background. Yeah.
Sameer Kolpekar has an interesting comment. He says, Swiggy is based in Bangalore, center
Kolpekar.
ignoring South as always.
But Swiggy, who does more business actually in terms of actual
honestly-
finance?
Zomato. No, they just
Zomato.
I just read an article on
balance
this.
sheet. Balance
They
sheet
have
wise.
like 53% or something of the market right now.
Okay, so that's
It's-
close.
yeah.
But yeah, all right. No, that
No,
makes sense.
53% because you're saying two players. There are more than two
I
players.
think Zomato might have been more in other cities than Swiggy is, right? Because I feel like Bombay and Bangalore, I feel like most people I talk to are Swiggy first.
No,
I could be wrong.
I'll tell you the
Maybe
problem.
it's just the restaurant.
name.
I also agree. I am Swiggy first, but nowadays I've started comparing prices. Zomato is
Okay.
cheaper, man. Swiggy used to be cheaper, but now
Hey,
Zomato is
we are
cheaper.
Zomato members.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Let me
they're
tell
able
you
to give you better offers.
something
And all.
premium or
I've
something,
compared
I'm
the
not sure.
same order I made on the exact same order on both the apps. Applied all the coupons and whatever you could. Zomato is cheaper 95% of the time.
Is
I'm not
that
kidding.
even including delivery costs? Because Zomato doesn't have the free delivery product now, which Swiggy does.
Oh yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But so I don't have the Swiggy
Also,
one thing,
understand,
but
in Marathi,
with the delivery costs,
there's
Zomato
a
comes
difference,
out
and that's
cheaper.
why in Maharashtra they're doing very well because Zomato, that's pronounced
Zomato.
with some flair,
Yeah.
and that Swiggy is a problem because they're more North Indian. The Sava you don't use so much in our area.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's a huge problem.
That's
So,
interesting, especially considering that the origins of both companies are opposite, right?
oh, is it?
Yeah.
There you
Zomato is a Delhi
Genius.
company, Swiggy is a Bangalore company.
Karthik, you want to add to this conversation? Or you had enough. If you had enough,
Nothing at
You
all.
just put your
I
hands
usually
up.
prefer Zomato.
wow, plugging left, right, and center. What kind of advertiser plug somebody? Tomorrow, Swiggy will not give you business because of this one thing on this award-winning podcast that is watched right now by Joe Biden and sons. Or son. Hunter Biden.
Okay. Can we do one quick one because we have
Who are you
we have a
asking?
hard stop at
You have a
11.
friend somewhere. Why a hard stop?
We have something else happening in the studio.
On a day when I'm free, you have something happening. Otherwise,
No,
I
it's
don't
not
need
happening in
to-
the studio.
Not happening?
No, that's canned.
Okay, so continue then.
You just want to-
No. I didn't know. I was told by
No, no.
our producers.
No,
first.
so basically what was happening was there's a COVID positive, so that's not happening.
What's a COVID positive? What does that mean?
Somebody was supposed to come to the studio and positive testing is happening, so that's not happening in the studio.
Oh, how sad. Just because he's got COVID, they don't come to work. I mean,
I
this
know.
is so rubbishy.
I know,
really.
imagine protecting all the people who are
Why?
here.
Really?
Why would you do something like that?
Especially those paranoid ones
Yeah.
like Rishi who wear masks all the day, all the time.
Just-
I do have
he's
something
got a mask in his
Ah,
pocket.
so
He's got a mask in his
we'll
pocket.
end.
He's got the mask. He's carrying the mask wherever he
All
goes.
right, let's do one quick one then. Girish Patil has asked, Karnataka history textbook mentions that Savarkar used to escape the Andaman jail every day to fly on the back of the pigeon to see his beloved motherland. Why was this
Not
history
pigeon,
not taught?
bulbul. The actual bird is bulbul.
Yeah. Bulbul is a desi bird. Kabutar is not really considered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But Kabutar is a bird from a subcontinent
is-
which got lost.
Is this like a
This is
poem
true?
translation or what? Dude, obviously it's not true.
No, I
No,
don't
one
know.
second. Why are you
How do you know
answering,
this?
Amit? Don't answer. The fun is not in the question.
I'm
it's
asking
in Silverie's
if
reaction.
it is true
Now
if
you have
it's
to go and
actually
do
in the
this.
textbook is what I'm asking.
Oh,
Is
okay.
it
I
actually
thought
in
you
the
thought
textbook?
that he was flying on a bulbul's back. Okay.
He's
okay.
off to
Yeah.
Andaman to
Is he-
verify.
was he part-
As we speak. Chalo, ticket.
What is this?
No, but is this a poem translation? Or where is this coming from, Girish?
I don't know. It's just Karnataka history textbook
All right,
mentions.
we'll look
It's part of
History
the textbook. Yeah, it's part of the textbook. Yeah.
It defies the laws of physics, generally speaking, in the sense that the size of the bulbul
Would have to be
generally
huge.
He would need to he would need to shrink.
Yeah,
right?
Ant-Man. He had Ant-Man
Or-
powers also, guys. You didn't know this?
All the bulbul gets
or the
bigger.
bulbul can grow.
Yeah, bulbul. I think that's
we have a
better
history of
chance.
that in our mythology, right?
We do.
Garuda and
Huge.
Vayu and all
Not
that.
just in Indian
Jatayu,
mythology.
Jatayu.
Big birds are everywhere.
Jatayu, yeah.
Big birds are
So maybe
everywhere.
the bulbul grows and then he goes from there. But then if the grown bulbul, how will he get into the jail cell?
No,
So
then
it
again-
needs to be shrinkage.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe the
Super-
bulbuls
super
were
strength,
carrying
super
a chariot,
strength.
like the
You
Santa
open
chariot,
the-
but
you
it's
open it.
pulled by bulbuls.
Yeah.
You don't see our
multiple
reindeers?
bulbuls.
Which is
Okay.
also known as bulbul in certain parts of India. Causes confusion. Get it right, bro.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Superb question.
All
Anything else you want to clarify from history or mythology? We're the people to answer.
Yes, absolutely.
Who won Panipat? You choose.
This next one comes in from Shrey Chandra, who says, Amit, how does your calendar look? I assume it would be busy as fuck, as opposed to Cyrus's, which just has random events like shout at the motorbike riders.
No, not really shout, but listen to what Maya says, my daughter. Can you at least put the window down and shout at them? Because by the time I find the window, they've passed, So I'm like, bang on, whatever, and it's only in the car. She gets to hear it, and that guy's gone, and then your window gone. It's like that. Yeah.
My calendar varies. Some days it's busy, some days it's free. Changes, I guess.
Wow.
How is
You're
your
not-
calendar, Cyrus?
My calendar.
Do you have a calendar?
You have a calendar.
Firstly,
I just need to
Punjabi,
exit
it's
because I gotta
calendar.
call it.
Okay,
Calendar bolo na.
All right,
Thoda-
Karthik,
thoda
Karthik, thank
calendar
you so
kitna
much.
Oh, he's going?
I'm sorry.
He's
bye.
got a call at 11.
I just got a call at
He couldn't
11.
take it. He made up a call just to get out of it. Unbelievable. Lot of
Hi,
respect,
Karthik.
bro.
No, I
Lot
don't
of
have a
respect. You're doing the right thing. There's no question.
Okay, bye.
Bye, Karthik. Have a
All
lovely
right,
day.
see ya.
Please check out Karthik's podcast at The Advertiser's Guide to the Galaxy. It's available wherever you get your podcasts and also on the IVM Podcast app and website.
That's right. Bye, Karthik. We'll do one more.
We'll do one more.
Yeah, we'll do one more.
Oh, should have asked this question before Karthik.
But I'll answer for him. I now know everything about
Okay,
him.
then. Samir Kolpekar.
Cyrus? Cyrus. I thought Karthik reminds him of Peter Griffin from Family Man. He's given it to me.
Samir Kolpekar has said, this is AMA for Karthik. So Karthik is Cyrus now. Which companies can market on this show?
Anyone who pays us a check. Every single one. There is no company
Adani.
that exists in this world, in this country.
Yeah.
See, as long as they're legally proper.
Yeah, correct.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, as I've told you all, Naren Hiramat, who I've not met in 20 years in MTV, we went for that chat. Okay, we went to meet guys who basically Pepsi bosses, etc. Somewhere in Noida only, I think it was. And we sat there with these guys, and he said, "I'll have a Coke, right? Double MBA." But on the way out, when we were discussing this with him, he was like, "But this will be legend. If they cancel our contract, Coke will learn about it and they'll love us." So literally, there's always an opportunity in everything. So nothing to worry about. Is what I'm saying. So we can take on anybody. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I have
we're
fine. I'm fine. I can switch tomorrow. I can be right wing, left wing, whatever. Amit is a little bit more, he's got more character. I'm trying to get rid of that slowly. We need a couple of bulbuls to help us.
Listen, again, when it comes to doing support for this show, I mean, I see no reason why we would not be happy with anybody. Who do we have right now? We have anybody right now?
We have but am I allowed to? Because I said it too early, apparently.
Oh, okay.
We have a
car company. Yeah, so, but I mean, they are there, but I mean, that's a special series of episodes we're doing.
That's the way we work, bro.
Yes,
that's the way we like it.
Okay, yeah, so we're
if
happy
some
to
advertisers watching right now, they can get in touch with us.
Why would an advertiser be watching?
You don't know. Maybe they're looking at Cyrus says like, hey, this is the next project I want to advertise on.
Whatever you're smoking, you have to stop now.
You don't know. You don't know this. What if this is actually happening, huh?
Okay, if you're an advertiser and you want to put money in, we can discuss. We're negotiable now. When we become really big, it'll be impossible for you. So do it right now. Get ahead of the pack. That's the point.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Get in early.
Get in early, 7 years later.
And we're looking at things like lubricants and all that, which nobody else looks at. Huh? We're good. We're good to look at spaces that nobody has gone to before.
All right. And lastly, please buy IVM merch. Cyrus is wearing one of them. Please go to the IVM podcast website and click on the shop tab. It'll take you to the 91 Grow website where you can buy.
Somebody said need one of those shirts, but then Rishi took it off.
Grim Fandango is answering, what about the East India Company? Will you be okay with them as sponsors? I would like to say yes, because the East India Company has been acquired by an Indian dude in Britain who wanted to basically own everything which has the name East India on it. So, yes, I will take the sponsorship.
Oh, wow. Also, some company which did rubbish or evil stuff 200 years ago may be completely clean now. So, I mean, you can't just, money's not tainted anymore after some time.
But this guy bought every company which has the East India Company name in it.
So, those are all but British government companies, right?
So, the East India Company...
No, it's a private company first.
That got nationalized.
Back in the day.
Yeah, that's what.
It got nationalized.
When my cousins came down from England.
So, post the mutiny, if I remember correctly, the East India Company basically gave way to the Crown. The Crown now controlled India.
Yeah.
Right, and so the East India Company got absorbed into that, but there were a number of spin-offs and other companies called East India.
So if Britain wants to sponsor the show and call it Little Britain but not the sitcom, I'm okay with it. What's the problem? Is that a problem?
Not a problem.
UK government proudly presents. What's the show called? Cyrus says.
Absolutely, we'll be in for that. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Cyrus Says, Cock and Bull. Cyrus, say bye.
Why?
Okay, we're still here.
No, that's in the East. That's how you say bye.
Okay, got it.
Hi.
All right. Bye, everyone. Have a lovely day ahead.
Do it in Japanese. Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you. We need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In, or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.